Hello everyone, good morning. My name is The Collector. I am your host of MI6 The Merchandise Vault, and this week it's kind of just the other week I said, or probably last week, about if you've got any questions, contact us and so on and so forth. And somebody did, and they asked a question which actually my family have asked, my close friends have asked, and some people have kind of hinted at, but have been sort of too reluctant to ask. And if you ever get to meet me, get to know me, I'm very easygoing. I'm very kind of like an open book. What you see, what you get, and we just have a conversation. But what it was about everything here that I've collected over somewhere in the region of between 30 to 35 years, which is a long time. That's like school leaving age for myself. So, you kind of, whilst I've been doing all this, I'm aware, no one's getting any younger. We're all getting a little bit older and more decrepit, but I've never really considered what happens when I am no longer here, or when I am unable to look after my passion, my hobby. So you kind of feel a little bit melancholy and a little bit sad, because you think, I'm not going to be able to function without this interest, this passion. But inevitably, we're only mortal. So I kind of got thinking about, well, what would I do? Because other people have said, is all of this, have you got an insurance on it? And I will hold my hands up and say no. Because every insurance company that I have approached, they're not interested unless you put it on your contents insurance. Now, to me, it kind of seems a bit daft, but I mean, someone will say to me, well, how much is it all worth? Now, to me, it's priceless. I'm not in it for the money. I don't think I've not sold any of my collection, any little bit. I may have given something away, and the other week when I was at the Toy Collector Fair at the NEC, I took some spare posters with me. But the company I was going to see weren't there, which was typical. But I had some, I've still got them, as well as the pin badges and the placemat, which if someone found me, I was just going to give them to them as a kind of a reward, for want of a better thought, and just strike up a conversation. But and I will still look to do that. But I just thought to myself, well, I know there's what I would love to see in the UK, and it would have to be in London, I would have thought, is a permanent Bond museum. Now, I know there's one in Sweden, and I must admit, I would like to go and meet the guy that runs it. We're friends on Facebook, and we swap posts and that and so on. And he's got some terrific stuff, and it certainly looks like he's got a great setup there. I'd like one in the UK. I'm surprised there isn't one, even if it's been sporadic. Like a pop-up museum when there's a Bond film coming out, say for the 6 months either side of the movie. That's how I would look at doing it, if it couldn't be a permanent fixture. But that's what, for me, that's what I would want for all this. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of collectors out there that collect all sorts of stuff of all shapes and sizes and genres. And I am sure they've been asked this question, and they're probably thinking, similar thoughts to me, or maybe not even at all. Because my children, bless them both, they're not interested in any of this. My wife certainly isn't interested in any of this. A lot of people would see it as a cashing in opportunity. I think I'd be betraying myself if I did that. I've got to be honest. That's just not me. I've worked hard. I've played hard. I've spent hard on all this. To just sell it, whether it be at a loss or at a profit, I would genuinely not get any kind of satisfaction out of that. I know it sounds absolutely daft in the world we live in. Trust me, I know. But this is just me speaking from here. I love this franchise. I wish the kids, were into it. I would just hand it on over to them, no problems whatsoever. But I've kind of gone down the idea of a route of kind of fundraising. So, to me, in an ideal world, I mean, we're members of the National Trust and we get to see all these amazing places, as many people do in this country. And you go around these huge estates and homes, and there are quite a few areas that there's nothing in it. All the salvageable, furniture and belongings and so on and so forth. They're all kind of crammed into a certain amount of rooms through the properties. And I'm gonna name one, and the one that I would dearly love. And I know it is probably a pipe dream, but there's no harm in dreaming. But I'd love this to be a fundraiser for charity. So at this place, you would pay your general admission, and you'd go around, and then there's kind of how can I put this? A sub exhibition. That's probably and I don't mean submarines, but something additional to what is there. And for an additional, I don't know, even if it was just £5, £2.50 to the estate, £2.50 to the charity. I would get so much more pleasure and joy of knowing that was happening, that would just fill me personally with pride that I could do something with this. Because whether it's the Roger Moore fan in me or not, I don't know, but I don't shy away from it. That charity would be UNICEF, as far as I'm concerned. And the property, because it's got royal links, for those of you that know it, would be Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. It's an incredible place. I have never felt so kind of in awe. And we've been to quite a lot of places, but the way it's set up when we were going around, it was quite clear that there were kind of areas that had not had anything done with it. They're just big empty rooms. They obviously need some renovation to become usable. And the seed was just sown then, and that we went there a few years back, but this question has constantly come up and reared its head every so often. And it's the only place, something else could pop up, moving forward, because I don't plan to stop collecting. Whether this podcast keeps going or not, I have no idea. I'd like it to. I just want to kind of expand it a bit more, like I mentioned last week. But yeah, if this could become a fundraising piece of equipment, I know that's the wrong way to put it, but if it could, and it would put a smile on people's faces, because when I go around, you see things, whether it's a tiny little chair, and you think, well, crikey, I can't imagine that I was that small at some point. But there's been places where there's been toy museums, and they just put a smile on your face, whether they're tin plate toys, plastic, you name it. They just put a smile on your face, and I just know that this could do that. I really do. I mean, there's the cabinets already. someone said to me when they watched the original room tour video, they were like, "Wow, that's like a museum. You've set that up like as if you're walking around a museum," and that is the kind of experience I wanted to create, not just for myself, but for the people who have visited and have taken a look. The look on their face is just pure joy to me. I'll say, right, do you want? I will go and switch all the lights on. Just give me 2 minutes and I'll bring you through. And it's like watching a kid approach Santa Claus. That's the way it looks on their faces. They kind of draw a breath and think, "Oh my God, we're in the presence of a nut job or something." But no, it's just me. It's just me. But then instantly, they have multiple questions, which, as a fan, it's fabulous to just impart them answers and knowledge back to them. I get a great kick out of that. I mean, if the other week I mentioned about a theme park, an Amazon MGM theme park for Bond, as well as the other IPs that they have control over. If there was a Bond, like the ability to have a Bond museum there, whether it's to do with the props, to do with merchandise, so on and so forth, I would happily use this as long as I could be a part of it, for sure. Especially, I'm not retiring yet. I've got a ways to go. I need to take a drink. Excuse me. So, yeah, without question, I would dearly love for this to continue beyond my mortality in one way, shape or form. It'd be really sad to have it broken up, because there's been a lot of hard work and love put into this thing. And I the only thing I would change, the amount of money I've spent on it. I don't mean I'd have spent less. I would have just been that little bit more, maybe extravagant. I would most likely have got some more props than I did, but you've got to be sensible. You've got to keep within your budgets. We've all got lives to live and responsibilities, but this is my kind of rough day, rough week, whatever it might be, challenges with family or work or whatever it may be. I can just come in here, stick a movie on, even read a book, just jump on the laptop, whatever it might be. It just helps me de-stress. So that is my thoughts on that. I'd be interested to know, out there, if you guys have had this same dilemma. You might have an idea that I've not even thought about, to be brutally honest, and could be another option. But a fan created museum for James Bond, permanent or pop-up, that would be amazing. And I would be fully involved and, a champion for that without question. So, yeah, I would love to hear from you all. The Collector, MI6, the Merchandise Vault, at hotmail.com. All in one breath. That was impressive. Get in touch or leave a comment on the video or question. I'll get back to you without fail. And other than that, enjoy your Sunday. Let's do the usual spiel of like, follow, share, subscribe. A punt in the dark in finding me. That'll do as well, if you're recommending. But yeah, love to you all, guys. Always a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see you in the next one, as they say. Goodbye for now.